Ooh, what is up, everybody, and welcome to the Notorious NerdyD Wrestling Show on YouTube. I am your host, the Notorious NerdyD. Joining me today on the ones and twos is my better half, Level Up Lauren.
What's up, y'all?
New format, new show, new everything. Trying to change things up a little bit. I don't like sitting in front of the computer, like right in front of the computer.
Okay.
I got to where I'm just reading a script.
Yeah.
I was just reading off the computer.
Yeah.
And I was trying to formulate shows to fucking not piss off everybody on the internet. And instead I should just shoot for saying what I think and piss off the internet.
Go for it.
That's kind of how I feel, right? So we're going with a gimmick change though.
All right.
It's time for a gimmick change. I ran the Savant thing into the ground. I did that long enough. Mm-hmm. I claim to know everything about professional wrestling when the truth is I don't know everything about professional wrestling. I don't actually know minimal about professional wrestling. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of professional wrestling. I'm not these guys who've spent their life in the business. I'm not a wrestler. I've never wrestled. I've played basketball. I played college basketball. I've been an athlete, so I understand sports. I have a knowledge of how locker rooms work. So I know a little bit, but I'm not a professional wrestling lifer. It's not what I've done. I watched in high school. I was pretty big in the Attitude Era. Watched a lot. Took a break. Then around 2011, I started watching again. And I had a little run where I went to about 4 or 5 WrestleManias. So I like to think I know enough. I know enough about professional wrestling. I don't know everything, right? And so last week, we took a week off to kind of recharge the batteries. This thing is exhausting. Trying to put together a show every week and sitting and worrying about, is this right? Is this right? Did I get enough information? Is there enough to talk about? And the truth is I don't give a shit, right? I just want to sit down here and talk. And that's why I'm moving the computer away from me. I'm putting this comfortable ass chair right here. Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to talk for 30 minutes. It's what we're going to do, right? No more sitting down and trying to write a script that I'm reading off so that I can make everybody happy. That's bullshit. I'm not doing that.
Yes, sir.
We went to Smackdown this week. San Antonio, Texas. We went to Friday Night Smackdown. I forgot how different wrestling is when you're there in person.
Oh, for sure. I thought it was so awesome.
First off, it flies by. When you're watching it on TV, it feels like it just drags out. And even the things that I'm not as interested in are super interesting when you're there. When you're in person wrestling, and then when we had our kids there, it was just we were row 1, kind of off to the side of the entrance ramp. Yeah, it was fucking phenomenal. It was a blast, and I don't care. I know we'll get into it a little bit. There was only 16 minutes of wrestling this week in SmackDown for a 2-hour show. There was 16 minutes of wrestling. I get what people say about WWE. I do get what the AEW people say. Going to a WWE show is more like a Broadway play. And I'm okay with that. That's the problem. I guess the issue is in the moment, I didn't even fucking notice there wasn't that much wrestling.
Did somebody time it?
There was a something I saw on Facebook that said there was 16 minutes of actual wrestling on SmackDown. And then one wrestling match in AEW last week was over 18 minutes long.
Yeah, that's
so
crazy.
One match in AEW was longer than all of the wrestling in WWE, but I'm okay with that because, like I've said, I'm there for the spectacle. I like the comedy, the Brock Lesnar, all that stuff, right?
The fireworks, man.
Fireworks, right? The fireworks are fucking. It's crazy the difference in seeing the fireworks on TV, versus seeing being there and feeling the fireworks in your chest. It's a whole. Now, we haven't been to an AEW event yet, so I can't make the comparison yet. I'm waiting for them to come to San Antonio so that I can go experience that. Because I will say, when you're, especially in San Antonio, Texas, it's not a smart crowd. I started a few chants. I got a few chants going because I know the timing. I know when you're supposed to. Me and my daughter, Skylar, we got a couple chants going. Yeah. We got some slow claps going. We got a couple Sasha Banks chants going. I know the time when you're supposed to chant, and I could get the crowd. I could work the crowd and get them going, right? Yeah, for sure. Haven't been to an AEW show. And I would assume maybe AEW, they hide a little bit from San Antonio. I don't think we have smart crowds.
Okay.
I've been to shows. I've been to shows in Atlanta. I've been to a show in Miami. I've been to a show in New York. Those crowds are more intelligent. The chants are more elaborate. They chant it at the right time. And I know AEW crowds are even more involved than that. AEW crowds are smart crowds. I will say that. I will 100% say that AEW crowds are smart crowds. It's different crowds. WWE is a younger fan base. Now, there were plenty of fucking adults there. Tons of adults. It wasn't just a bunch of kids.
Dumb adults is what you're saying?
No, not when I say dumb, I don't mean dumb as in intelligence. I mean that there are cadences to wrestling matches, and there are times that things happen, like when both people fall down. That's usually when a slow clap starts to kind of build the momentum and get them back up, right? Yeah. And I don't feel like San Antonio crowds understand that as much as, like, I'm sure Chicago crowds. It's why AEW spends all their time in Chicago. Chicago crowds are super wrestling intelligent. I'm not saying anything about like intelligence as far as who's fucking smart and who's not, because I'm a big dumb guy. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I just mean as far as wrestling intelligence goes, when you go to WrestleMania, when you go to the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania, those are the smart crowds.
Like show etiquette.
I guess you could call it show etiquette. It's just knowledge of when chants and things are supposed to start.
Yeah,
Even when I go to shows in like Dallas, it seems to be a little bit of a more intelligent crowd. So I want to go to an AEW show because I want to see how different that experience is live.
Yeah,
that's what I want to see. So we did bring signs. I know I've been a huge proponent. I hate fucking signs.
You made my dreams come true.
But where we were not obstructing anybody's view. And we brought very compact signs, and we only held them up at the appropriate times for that person. Now, we brought a Shotzi sign. She was not there.
Yeah.
So we only held that up at the intro. We also brought a Pat McAfee sign. Mm-hmm. Which I had this conversation with one of my daughters before the show. She was like, what sign can we bring that will get the attention of the person coming out? And I said, it's Pat. Pat is the guy. Because I mean, even watching Pat's show this week, he talked about, like, he gets a lot of fucking hate in wrestling.
That's stupid.
He's an outsider, so I guess he gets a little, maybe not a lot, but he gets some hate, right?
Yeah. I'm
a big fucking Pat McAfee guy. So I thought, how fucking cool would it be to bring, we brought a cutout, like, big head of Pat McAfee. Now, when he came out the first time, we were holding it up. He did not see it.
Yeah, he didn't look back at us.
And we were fucking disappointed.
Yeah. I was like,
but then about 3/4 through the show, they do the show your sign. And I locked eyes with the cameraman. And he was like, the cameraman was like, I fucking got you, bro.
Yeah.
The cameraman was like, that's a good sign. So he walked over. He put us on the camera. We're up on the big Titantron. I don't know what they call it these days. I still call it the Titantron. We're up on the big screen, right? So then I look over at Pat, and Pat's fucking stoked that we brought this sign, right? So he jumps up and he's pointing in the crowd looking for this sign. I'm able to get his attention. We lock eyes. He fucking gives me the hold on a second. He reaches in, pulls out his phone, takes a picture of the sign. 30 minutes, 45 minutes after he left SmackDown. Yep. He tweeted out a thank you to San Antonio, and there was a picture of my big fat mug on his Twitter.
Yes, there was.
Holding my Pat McAfee sign.
What? Yeah.
Now, like I said, I'm a huge Pat McAfee person. There's no, like, even based on, like, the new branding of the show and some of the things we're doing, there's no doubt I draw tons of inspiration from Pat McAfee. Uh-huh. I have 4 big inspirations in podcasting and, like, internet showmanship. I would say that, like, Pat McAfee has huge influences on what I do. And tons of respect for him. Love it. I watch that show every day. Never miss that fucking show. I'm a Joe Rogan guy. Even though people like to hate on Joe and they call him Dr. Joe Rogan, I'm a Joe Rogan guy. I love Joe. I love watching Joe Rogan. I think everything, the guests he has are super interesting. It's been harder now that he moved to Spotify. It's harder for me to keep up, so I don't watch as often. I'm able to just kind of now pick and choose who I like.
Yeah.
The product of Joe Rogan, I like Brendan Schaub.
Yep. He's
kind of the bro, the UFC bro. And I fall in and out of UFC. And when I fall into UFC, Brendan Schaub is my go-to to get my information. And then for video games, I haven't watched in a long time. They've got a lot going on. Greg Miller had a baby, but Kind of Funny Games was a huge inspiration in me wanting to even do any kind of podcasting.
Yeah, for sure.
So those are kind of those are the 4 people that I've taken a lot of inspiration from, and you can see it in what we do. And I try not to hide the fact that a lot of things I do are just a form of imitation, but it's out of a positive and not trying to copy what they do, because none of them really talk about pro wrestling.
Yeah.
So it's what I do, right? Okay. So let's get into the first topic here. We're going to do a little bit of a SmackDown recap because that's where we were live, right? So show starts off with, I think I called it, right? Well, it was actually Sami Zayn, so I didn't call it. Who came out first? Brock did, SmackDown? Right? Brock came out first. So I did call it. I said Brock Lesnar was coming out first. Brock came out first. Brock is fucking massive.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Jesus Christ. In person, he's big on TV, but in person, he is a fucking behemoth of a fucking... His shoulders, they don't even look human. He imagines like the same reaction I get when I see Brock Lesnar is what I imagine if I saw a moose in person.
A moose?
If I saw... Because you've seen pictures of moose?
Oh, fuck. They're huge.
What is the plural of moose? It's not mooses, is it?
No.
Is it meese?
No, I don't know. Mice.
Or is it just moose? Like, is there a group of moose?
A flock of moose.
A flock of moose?
That's
why I imagine seeing a moose in person would give me the same feeling as seeing Brock Lesnar as a moose of a man. He's fucking huge, right?
Yes.
And then we got Sami Zayn came out. And we got to see an interesting side of Brock Lesnar. I thought it was fun to see a little bit of a comedic side to Brock Lesnar, and not this over fucking like over testosterone. I'm gonna slap everybody. He comes off the suspension, seems to be a little more humbled, seems to be a little more laid back, and he peer pressures Sami Zayn into a title match, which I was all about because hey, fuck it, we get to see a WWE Universal Championship match, which doesn't happen very often on Friday Night SmackDown. I was fucking hyped up. Little did I know what it was leading to, but I was hyped up. Thought it was a fun intro, fun way to start the show. I think Sami Zayn deserves a lot of credit. I think he's playing this conspiracy character and this kind of beat down guy. He plays it so well, and he played off of Brock Lesnar so good. Sami Zayn reminds me of Dave from the FX show.
Yeah, I could see that.
He's got the same mannerisms, the same kind of talk, the same cadence and speech. Very funny. Makes me laugh. Every time Sami Zayn's in the ring, I thought that, here we go, that was all no wrestling, but I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed the first 10 minutes of SmackDown with no wrestling, right?
Yeah.
I got listed here 16 minutes of wrestling in the entire show.
That's crazy. I didn't realize that at all.
So being there in person, never realized it. Went home, read that article, thought, I guess that makes sense. And I don't know how important that is to me. I don't know that
I really enjoyed the stories, and maybe it was because I was there.
Well, I just don't get off on the wrestling part unless the wrestling part means something. I don't get off on 30 minutes of wrestling, and that's some people do. Some people love that, and I imagine now as I start to take like an introspective look at why I like WWE and why I tend to get a little bit bored in AEW, may be simply that I'm not enamored with two guys wrestling for 30 minutes.
I get bored after a while.
And that's just my opinion. And okay, well, fuck it. You're not a professional wrestling fan. Whatever.
I would only say it's like that, especially when you kind of know what the outcome should be. Does that make sense? That like, okay, you're going to make me wait a long, long time, and I already know what's going to happen.
I get that part.
That's how I feel sometimes.
But even if you don't know, I mean, I don't, the Bryan Danielson, Kenny Omega 30-minute time limit draw, I didn't know who was going to win. But I wasn't 20 minutes in going, Jesus, I need fucking 40 more minutes of this. Yeah. I thought, I appreciate this, but I don't want to see this every week.
I thought you were going to say ever again.
No, not ever again. Just not every week. So Sasha Banks defeated Shayna Basler. That was forgetful.
Yeah.
It was only exciting because you're seeing Sasha Banks in person. I don't even remember why her
outfit was really cute though.
The sparkles and shit. The sparkles and shit in person are crazy. The way the lights hit them and stuff. The TV doesn't do justice to, like, if you've never been to a actual WWE event, it's just so different. Not hearing the announcers and then you just hear the boom and the excitement of like when things hit.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre and Jeff Hardy attacked Happy Corbin and Madcap Ross during like a comedy segment. Once again, not wrestling, but I enjoyed it.
True.
Nothing
I mean, I
wrong
don't
with
even
that.
like Jeff Hardy, but
Well, something's going on with Jeff Hardy. I don't know if you saw. And this, I didn't put this in the dirt sheets because I don't know enough about it. But it wasn't in Corpus. It was wherever they were before Corpus Christi.
Okay.
Jeff Hardy was in a match and he looked fucked up. Now, I don't know if he was on drugs again. I don't know if he was drinking. I don't know if it was a concussion. I'm not even going to speculate on any of that stuff. But he was fucked up. He fell down. At one point, he makes a tag, rolls out of the ring, and just kind of wanders off into the crowd, and he never comes back.
You think maybe that could be planned?
I don't think so. I don't think they do a work like that at a live show. That's a non-TV event. It doesn't make sense. I mean, look, jump to conclusions, overreaction. He's either back on drugs, he's alcohol, or he got hit during the match at some point and had a concussion, and they got to get him out of there. I'm not going to speculate on what any of it is, and it may be someone may have the information at this point that I don't have, and they can let us know if one of the above happened. But as far as I know, he didn't appear. He was replaced in Corpus Christi. Mm-hmm. But that could be, I mean, that could simply be a concussion. It could be, I'm not going to speculate. I don't know. I don't love Jeff Hardy. He's not my favorite wrestler. I've gone numerous times of not liking him, but I'm going to respect.
I only liked his brother now that he's in AEW.
That's interesting.
I don't know if it's because he changed that outfit.
I don't know. He annoys me in AEW as well.
Well, I like him better in AEW than I did in WWE.
He's obsessed with Orange Cassidy's hair and shit like that. Los Lotharios defeated the Viking Raiders via pinfall. Once again, something Los Lotharios do nothing for me.
That was a forgettable.
The Viking Raiders are interesting. Was a little pissed off because that meant that Shinsuke Nakamura's impact was just sneaking out during the match.
Yeah.
So they played the guitar. They cost the Viking Raiders the match. Blah, 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 blah. Smackdown stuff, right? Then we got to see Jey Uso against Xavier Woods, and he won by, I believe it was disqualification. Mm-hmm. Good to see Kofi back.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. You called it.
I did. I mean, but there was kind of rumblings that Kofi was on his way back. I believe he just had a kid. So I believe that was his time.
Well, then
what he did for his
bro.
time off. Yeah. This match was nothing spectacular, but what this does is this sets up anytime you get the Usos and the New Day going at each other, it's going to be fucking fun. It's going to be entertaining. And at day one, we're now going to get the Usos versus the New Day, King Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, Kofi Kingston for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Can we get Xavier a new crown? Like, do you only get one? And if some bully comes along and smashes your fucking crown, can we not get him another crown?
Maybe we should make him one.
Well, I mean, but this is what people say about WWE. You got a good thing going. And smashing the crown, I get it gave Roman Reigns and the Bloodline, it gave them good heat. But I don't understand, like, King Xavier with the crown was fucking good. Let's just get the guy another crown.
True.
Somebody in the WWE find another fucking crown and give it to him. That's all we need to do.
Go to Party City, go buy
Party
a crown.
City, whatever. Amazon. Amazon
bro.
servers were down. Amazon, the fucking world shut down for a hot minute a couple days ago when Amazon servers went down.
I'm glad I didn't know about it.
Okay, so Toni Storm got revenge on Charlotte. This whole fucking pie thing is stupid.
I like it.
It's funny, but it's stupid. I mean, at least I do feel better now that Toni Storm got to return the favor back to Charlotte. But in true Charlotte fashion, Charlotte, I feel like they sat down at some point in like a production meeting. And I'm sure this is not how WWE works, but in my head, this is how it works. So they sit down at a table and there's Charlotte on one side and there's Toni Storm on the other, and there's a WWE official in the middle, right? And they're like, we're gonna plan this story out, which I don't even believe they plan the fucking stories half the time. But they go, we're gonna do a thing with pies. You're gonna hit her with a pie, she's gonna hit with you with pie. And I feel like the way Charlotte is perceived, that she was like, look, if she's gonna hit me with a pie, I'm gonna hit her with 2 pies. Nobody's gonna hit somebody with more pies than me.
Yeah.
And this is where that bad reputation comes, right? Why the fuck you gotta have 2 pies? Because if you hit me with 2 pies, I'm fucking you up on spot.
True that.
I don't know why, So, but Toni Storm got to return the favor with 1 pie. She got a 1 pie shot in.
1 pier.
Fucking, this is wrestling. Now,
I like it.
Now that I'm reading this back and hearing the 16 minutes of wrestling, it's starting to fucking make sense.
Yeah.
It's starting to become a little more
All right.
clear that we didn't go to a wrestling show. We went to a fucking circus.
I loved it,
There were
though.
pies being thrown.
Fireworks.
People coming out from under the ring, people playing electric guitars. If you just kind of gave a rundown of what happened, you would not know that this was a wrestling match.
Nah.
Sheamus defeated Cesaro. I feel like Sheamus is always wrestling Cesaro.
They put the 2 old folks together.
Well, they're not that old, but I just feel like they're always, every time, and I think it's just like in the beats where I've watched wrestling, because I've watched, stop watching, I've watched and stop watching. Every time I come back, Sheamus and Cesaro are either partners or they're fighting each other.
Yeah.
It's every fucking time. Why can't we find something else for these guys to do?
For sure.
We finally got word that we're getting Sonja Deville versus Naomi.
Yes.
Because Sonja Deville slapped Naomi after she challenged her to a match and told her, you can't touch me until we have a match, which is utter bullshit. I'd have slapped the shit out of her.
Yeah.
You're not doing that shit.
Fuck you.
I don't. The other thing, we had Monday Night Raw last night, and I'm going to kind of jump ship here just for a second, but I'm staying on SmackDown. Vince McMahon is in the back making matches, but we're supposed to believe that Adam Pearce and Sonja Deville are like in charge. I don't understand the fucking power hierarchy at the WWE right now. I like when there's just general managers of each show. I don't like that they're roaming back and forth. It makes it, even for like Survivor Series, it feels more of brand versus brand.
Yeah.
When there's someone in charge and someone takes pride in each brand.
Yeah.
For Survivor Series, it just felt like Sonja Deville and Adam Pearce were just like, yeah, no, I'm gonna make some teams and we're gonna have some matches. It didn't feel like, it never felt like it meant anything.
That sounds cool, bro. Let's do that.
Well, there's no like coaches, right?
Yeah.
And then we ended off SmackDown with Sami Zayn coming out, Brock Lesnar coming out as he promised to watch the match, but then Brock Lesnar beats the life out of Sami Zayn. They prop him up on the ropes, which in all my time watching, this is where wrestling like tends to kind of like irritate and kind of humiliate people, because it's like they're playing with our intelligence. Anytime I've seen this, someone gets beat up before the match and they can't stand to start the match, they don't start the match. But for some reason in this instance, Brock Lesnar left him hanging on the ropes. He slides down. Roman Reigns comes out. The Usos pick him back up, hang him on the ropes.
Yeah.
And they start the match. Fucking spear.
What's that movie? Vacation at Uncle Bernie's?
That's what it looked like. Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's not Vacation at Bernie.
It's something with Uncle Bernie.
Where they
hold him up and he's like dead, and
shit,
they like
why
take him
can
places.
I not think? Weekend at Bernie's. Weekend at Bernie's. That's exactly what it looked like. Was Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah.
And so Roman Reigns defeats Sami Zayn. That's the end of Sami Zayn's #1 contendership.
Yeah.
And official for WWE Day 1 on January 1st, we get to see Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns for the 500th fucking time. And we'll probably see it again at the Royal Rumble. And it's looking more and more like this is what we're going to get for WrestleMania. We're not getting The Rock. We're going to get Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. Now, I think that if I read correctly, as of January 1st, Roman Reigns will officially surpass Brock Lesnar as the longest running WWE Universal Championship or champion in the history of WWE. So finally, we can stop playing the game of Roman's not going to lose.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah.
All right, let's switch over to Monday Night Raw. I don't have as much for Monday, but we'll switch over to Monday here. So we started off the show. Did you watch all of it?
Yeah, I watched most of it.
Okay, so we started the show exactly how I go on this big rant a couple weeks ago about how your world title should finish the show. Now I get that Becky Lynch is a world champion as well, so it's a little different. But we start the show off with Big E and Kevin Owens cage match. Good match.
Yeah.
It was a good match.
It was a good match.
Actually exciting. I liked the way they started off Raw. There was something different about it this week. It felt, I don't know what it felt like, but they did a series of these like quick promos where each guy got to kind of talk a little shit going into the match. And it kind of got me a little I was a little hyped up for the match. Something about it just I was like, okay, we're going to hear them talk and then let's go. And they started with Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Good match. Nothing wrong with it. Cage matches are always fun. Big E with the big ending off the top rope was cool. Escaping. I thought it was cool. Seth Rollins
came back in.
Well, and Seth Rollins stopped both of them from escaping at one point because obviously the story is Seth Rollins doesn't want either of them to be a part of what he's got going on, his plots and schemes. But good match. At one point, when did Bobby Lashley become a fucking part of this again? I mean, just fucking like, how many guys do we need in the title picture right now?
I don't know. It's like sometimes they just got to say, hey.
I just feel like they're like, wait, man, what's Bobby doing? Nothing? All right, send him in. Whatever. I'm cool with it. I'm excited for day one. I think that a triple threat match, which may possibly turn into a fatal 4-way, I'm all about that. That's cool.
Yeah.
We got the RK Bronament. This is the best thing going on Monday Night Raw. Yeah. Riddle is the best thing going on Monday Night Raw. And I never imagined that would be my thing, right? Because Bianca Belair has been relegated to, she's doing some shit with Doudrop, which wasn't even on the Hulu cut of Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, I read about it.
So when you don't even, I did too. So when you don't even make the Hulu cut of Monday Night Raw, what you're doing is not real fucking important. Yeah. So, but the RK Bro tournament or the RK Bronament, that's the best thing going on.
People want you to wear the blazer.
Yeah, I mean, Riddle is just fucking great. And Randy Orton is great along with him because this counterbalance relationship that they have is fucking great where, like, Riddle just seems to, like, get them involved in shit. And it's believable, right?
Yeah.
When Randy goes, hey, man, you set this whole thing up. Yeah. You created this tournament.
Well, I think Riddle said that, his character is basically him. He said, so I love it because I can just go out there and be myself.
That's when the characters are the best, is you're just an extension of yourself. He's fucking great. He's entertaining. And so both matches for the RK Bronament were good. The first one was AJ Styles and Omos versus, who was it? Street Profits, right?
Yes.
Good match. Glad to see we're finally getting what looks like the end of AJ Styles and Omos.
I thought they were going to win. So when the Street Profits won, I was like, all right.
Well, I think they're building towards the breakup, right? Because that's how it always starts. A little dissension. AJ Styles yelling at him. Then Omos walks off. And then Riddle, fucking perfect timing, comes in and tries to interview AJ Styles. I thought that was all great. WWE needs more of that.
Yeah.
That was good. The Team Alpha, what are they called?
I don't know. Alpha Force or something like that.
Alpha Team Force, whatever they are. They lost
with the blue leotard.
They lost to the Mysterios. Thought Dominic Mysterio looked good for the first time. I'm not a big fan of his, but I thought he looked good in the match. Right. He's still not great on a microphone, but he looks more confident in the ring.
He's just so gawky.
Gawky. He's lanky.
Yeah.
He's a lanky guy. But that looks fun. So next week we're getting the Mysterios versus the Street Profits. I hope the Mysterios win because, like Riddle was saying, I think it would be a fun matchup to watch. Riddle and Randy Orton versus the Mysterios.
Yeah, I could see that.
That would be fun to watch. The Street Profits. I think it's time to break them up. I really do. They're not interesting together.
True.
I think that Montez Ford would be
better without.
He'd be an extremely fun singles wrestler to watch. Super athletic. Let's stop doing the red Solo Cup thing, and let's let like it. Sometimes you grow past
it's like
a gimmick.
A different version of the Bootios, but not as fun to me.
The New Day.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's whatever. I just think after a certain amount of time, a gimmick plays out. The crowd's not overly fucking excited about it anymore. Let's break them up and let them sink or swim. I think Montez Ford is ready for a singles run, 100%.
Yeah.
And it looks like the Raw tag team division would be fine without them.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think that they necessarily just need them right now. Okay, we got more of this weird fucking Vince McMahon Austin Theory relationship, which fucking weirdly seems like like a sex fucking slave type. Like, why is Vince McMahon enamored with him like doing jumping jacks and like pulling his shirt down? I don't know. It's just weird to me. That whole fucking story. I was starting to get into Austin Theory, and then it was like, what the fuck are we doing? Vince McMahon's just hanging out at Monday Night Raw, but he's not really running the company. He's just watching matches, trying to teach Austin Theory to expect the unexpected.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. So then he goes out, and how is it unexpected? This is what Austin Theory has been doing since he came to Monday Night Raw. Yeah. Was attacking random people. So he does what he always does, and we're supposed to now believe that like this was Vince McMahon's thing.
Because it's unexpected.
Maybe so. It's just unexpected that he attacked Finn Balor, and took a selfie.
Yep.
I don't know. Cool, whatever. Monday Night Raw, it's still Monday Night Raw. It's still Monday Night Raw. Now I thought it was cool. We ended the show with Becky Lynch and Liv Morgan.
Yeah.
My problem with this once again is, how many, like, raise your hand if you believed Liv Morgan was going to beat Becky Lynch on a Monday Night Raw?
Nobody thought that.
Nobody thought so.
Except for that little girl in the crowd.
Yeah, but sometimes I feel like those are plants. Like, I feel like they do that because...
The trending girl who she's
because it creates, like, there's always, like, there was the Cena guy.
Yeah.
There was the one at WrestleMania, the Brock Lesnar guy. There's always someone in the crowd that, like, does a good facial expression at the right moment, and they lock in on that. But nobody thought... So you're fooling our intelligence. I get that this was a play off of the Lita Trish Stratus match. It had been like a certain amount of years since that match. But, I mean, unless you're really going to hit us with a surprise, which that would be fun. I don't understand why you can't let Liv Morgan win the belt there. That would be shocking. It would be the most talked about thing in wrestling right now if that's where she won it. But... instead, we get a match that was a good match, good wrestling match, but it ends with a Becky Lynch roll-up holding the ropes, which I don't think that protected Liv Morgan very much. I felt like she just got beat.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it was cheating enough to feel like that's why she lost the match, right? Because usually they try to protect the face and make it seem like, well, Liv Morgan had a real shot to win that match until Becky Lynch cheated. Uh-huh. It almost like they were well into the 3 count when Becky Lynch reached over and grabbed the ropes.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it was like a B Monday Night Raw. I saw some people saying it was like a great Monday Night Raw. It was a B level Monday Night Raw to me.
Could have been better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go to AEW. I'll just give some thoughts on AEW. I don't have a ton of thoughts, right? Bryan Danielson, he's running through the Dark Order week after week, wrestling a bunch of guys that I've never fucking seen before. And I guess I'm supposed to care about this. This is all leading up to a match with Hangman Adam Page at AEW Winter is Coming, which I'll talk about in a minute, which is fucking cool. I wish Bryan Danielson wrestled less. And I don't think I'd ever thought I'd say that.
Is it so that he was more exciting when you saw him? Yeah,
so that it was kind of an event when he came out. Or if you just keep putting him against these guys that I've never heard of, it doesn't mean anything to me. Like, I guess we're going to watch him pick apart the Dark Order one by one, which already the Dark Order come off as goofy motherfuckers to me. Everybody in there is kind of goofy to me.
Yeah.
And I know I don't have a long history. So what people have to understand is if you have a long history with the Dark Order and you understand the story and you understand the character, that's great for you. But my history with the Dark Order like leads back to like 4 months ago, basically, right? That's when I started watching AEW. And ever since I've seen them, they've looked like a disorganized group of people. And a lot of them look like goofy fucks. There's a little bald short guy. He's goofy as fuck. I don't know his name, but he's small and bald, and he runs out to save the day all the time. I don't know.
So it's just, the one with the beard, right?
Yeah, it's just not impressive to me. It's not impressive that Bryan Danielson is running through the entire Dark Order. I'm ready. Fucking put the belt on him. Let's go. Let's put the fucking belt on Bryan Danielson.
Go for it.
Hangman is not an interesting champion.
Boring.
He's boring. Let's get the fucking look, guys. You got what you wanted. The IWC, the Internet Wrestling Crowd, they got what they wanted. You got to see Hangman with his belt. He's fucking boring, as expected. Let's take the belt off of him. Let's put it on someone who really can fucking entertain the crowd. Let's put it on Bryan Danielson, and let's fucking go. Let's go. Like, let's go. There's a lot for Bryan Danielson to do right now. There's CM Punk. There's MJF. There's fucking Adam Cole. Adam Cole's
That would be a good match.
What the fuck, man? You leave NXT and you come to AEW with all these hopes and fucking dreams. And really, since Adam Cole's come to AEW, he's been relegated as like a circus clown. He's like Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks sidekick. He came out the fucking gates hot, right?
Yep.
He came out hot. And then since then, it's been kind of this thing. Hopefully, we're long-term building to him fucking leaving the super elite and creating his own faction.
Yeah.
But whatever. That wasn't even on my notes. That's just, I don't know what they're doing with fucking Adam Cole.
True.
I'm an Adam Cole guy, baby.
I liked him.
Adam Cole all the fucking way. MJF cut another promo. Since we were off last week, I'm going to take this week to talk about the CM Punk MJF promo from 2 weeks ago, which is now almost 3 weeks ago because there was a Dynamite tonight, which I will watch following this podcast. It was a great promo. It was a great promo. I'm not going to overreact and go, it was the greatest promo. It wasn't the greatest. It was exceptionally good. CM Punk is always fucking good. I think MJF, I don't know if I'm just biased because right now I'm fucking off of CM Punk.
MJF is the shit.
But I thought MJF was better than CM Punk on the microphone right now. The needle dick stuff is stupid. That shit, that stuff that like, that's the low hanging fruit. When you call someone needle dick, because you know the crowd's going to react, especially AEW crowds who kind of react to anything that seems a little bit dirty.
Yeah.
They react and they chant it back. But I thought in the last couple weeks, I thought the Britt Baker remarks, this is now going a week ahead. The Britt Baker remarks, fucking, they were solid. They're solid because it does feel like CM Punk has some kind of, now I don't think it's
real. It's manufactured.
Well, I think it's a respect. Let's get this right. Like CM Punk respects Britt Baker.
Yeah.
So he is complimentary of her.
Yeah.
But this is fucking professional wrestling. And we keep going, we want nasty Punk. And he keeps being, what does MJF call him? PG Punk.
There we go.
PG Punk. He keeps being PG Punk. So he played right into it with the whole, like, you just want to get in Britt Baker's pants and whatever.
Yeah.
Get it. Fucking good. This is great.
It's like the kid who says, like, I'm not dumb. You're dumb. Your mom is fat.
Yeah. I mean, but it was good promos. Great promos. But I'm not going to I'm not doing like people in the fucking TikTok comments were like, whoa, this shit didn't age well when you talked about CM Punk now that these promos are the best. Like, they're good. They're great. In 2021 standards, they're great promos. Right? But I'm not going to overreact to them. I'm not overreacting to them.
Yeah.
I also, I still stand by, like, is this done, like, after a couple weeks? Or are we going to let this drag out a couple months? Because there is fucking milk in the cow on this situation, in this feud, in this rivalry. I know that people were like, the Eddie Kingston thing was a flash in the pan. It happened because of Jon Moxley. But sometimes you got to take an opportunity. It felt like there was milk in the cow on that one.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It felt like that could have ran a couple months, and you could have really squeezed that out.
Yeah. Missed opportunities, bro. Then
we got Cody Rhodes. We had to talk about Cody Rhodes. God bless his heart, man. Fucking man. Cody Rhodes. I really just feel like Cody Rhodes.
We watched it after it aired, and you told me, you said this was coming up, and I was like, nah.
He just wants the fucking crowd to love him. And it almost feels like he, to the detriment of himself, will do anything to win this fucking crowd back. Now, if this is all a work and he's building up and he's building up to a great heel run, fuck, Cody, amazing. But if this is really just desperation trying to win the crowd back, it's crazy. Now, let's talk about the spot. Let's talk about the flaming table spot.
Yeah.
That's big time, man. If you're going to jump through a flaming table, you're going to get people to pay attention. That shit's not happening in WWE.
No.
And maybe for good reason, right?
How do you think that meeting went? Like, all right, so just think of it this way.
Well, I mean, yes, honestly, right? Like when you're sitting down with Andrade, right? And you're like, hey, man, check this out. We're going to set the table on fire. And obviously it was set up so that Andrade falls past the table. Cody went through the table. But how does that go? But I mean, you talk about big fucking nuts. Cody will do what he has to do to get the fucking job done. That's not happening in WWE. And I give credit where fucking credit is due. That's the type of shit you have to do to knock the giant off of the fucking mountain.
Yeah.
Like week in and week out, so this is what I talk about though. This is what I talk about. When the week before you end the show with Sammy Guevara versus somebody, I don't even fucking remember who it was, for the TNT championship, and you guys go, well, we're just trying to make the title relevant, right? That's great. Yeah, good. You're making your title relevant, but nobody fucking cares. Yeah. Nobody outside of your little tight-knit AEW community cares about what's happening there. When you fucking have Cody Rhodes go through a flaming table and he's on fire when he's pinning the final pin, that's the type of shit that when I turn the TV off, I'm still talking about AEW that night. I'm talking about it the next day. I'm telling people who don't watch wrestling. I'm like, look, you may not be a fan of wrestling, but check out this fucking match where Cody Rhodes goes through a fucking table that is on fire and dude is burned up. Like, you can't, that kind of shit, that is the shit that gets people to pay attention. So I shout out to Cody Rhodes on that, because that was fucking phenomenal. Like, that's stupid as fuck. But sometimes you got to be a little bit fucking stupid to get over with the crowd, man. It's just what you got to do, or to even just get the entire show over, right? Rampage didn't interest me this week. There was like 3 matches that I don't fucking care about. For some reason, I think Sammy Guevara is fucking boring.
I could see that.
He's not that interesting to me.
He reminds me of Mysterio's son. They both have that same look to me.
Except that I think he's probably a lot better at everything. No, I mean, it's not meant to be an insult. I 100%, like, Sammy Guevara checks all the boxes of a wrestler. He's good in the ring, pretty good on a microphone, but he just bores me. There's nothing intriguing. And maybe it's because, like, maybe at a certain age, you just start looking at the young guys and maybe I'm jealous, right? I can't move around like that. Maybe I'm more partial to the CM Punks because I feel like I move at that speed. Yeah. Right. But
I don't mind him.
But Sammy Guevara, he bores me, especially when he's not part of, Jericho's not involved with him. The TNT title, you guys can keep telling me whatever you want, but from where I'm watching, it's not that prestigious of a fucking title. Yeah. I mean, Miro had it for fucking 3 months, 4 months. I don't know how long. He had it when I started watching, and he had it all the way up to
That's one person
Sammy Guevara. But
I don't like anymore.
But once he's done with that, now he's gone.
Exactly.
And so I think that loses a little of the prestige of the title. And I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just fucking hating on AEW. But I enjoyed AEW this past week. I really did. I'm enjoying CM Punk. I'm enjoying CM Punk. That's it. I'm enjoying. I like the Dante Martin and Taz stuff. That stuff was good to me, and I still enjoy Britt Baker. I think she's fun, and the whole story. She's my favorite from there. And the TBS tournament has been fun to watch. So all that stuff has been fun. And then want to talk quickly about the Winter is Coming. That's in Houston. I was fucking tempted to buy tickets, but they're pretty expensive.
What is that?
And drive down to Houston. I think it's next week.
Okay.
AEW does the cool thing, and someone explained this to me early on. They don't have as many pay-per-views, but they have a lot of these themed dynamites.
That's cool.
And I like that. And they're actually very clever. This Winter Coming is fucking cool. The whole promos with like the ice and shit like that. And that's going to be Hangman versus Bryan Danielson.
That should probably be a good one.
It's going to be a hell of a match. I'm excited for that match. Was not excited for the buildup. Thought the buildup was fucking trash. One thing, and maybe this is my ignorance, right? Because people are going to tell me why this is wrong. But it seems like when someone wins the AEW World Championship, they just stop fucking wrestling. And they don't have to be in title matches. I understand that you don't want to have a title match every week, but it's like they just stop wrestling. When's the last time Hangman wrestled?
I don't know.
I feel like it was when he won the belt. So here's the history of Hangman now since I've watched, right? When I start watching, he takes a break, he disappears. He's gone for a couple months. He shows back up, immediately gets to be in the casino ladder match, wins that match, shows up, beats Kenny Omega, and that's it. That's all. As a new fan, as a prospective new fan, that's what I am. I'm a new fan to AEW. My engagement with your world champion is seeing him like twice. And then letting him talk a couple times. You got to let him wrestle more. That's what WWE does do. Like, right? Roman Reigns is wrestling almost every week, or he's involved in the story every week. Mm-hmm. You could call it being shoved down my throat, but I call it, you got to put your stars. If you're going to put the saddle, you're going to put the belt on the big boys, you got to be able to ride that fucking horse.
Yeah.
And I really feel like there's a good chance Bryan Danielson beats Hangman, because I just don't know how long Hangman can be world champion and be interesting.
True.
All right, let's get to this week's burning question. You have no volume. You got to turn that up. Ooh. Try it again. There it is. All right, so this week's burning question comes from, I saw this on Instagram, on WWE's Instagram earlier. And let's see what's happening here. I've lost my mouse. Okay, so I saw the question of which WWE champion is going to be the first to lose their title.
Okay.
And
what are our choices?
So I looked up, I went on to a wiki page, so I don't know how accurate this is, but I looked up the current, let's call them the Big Four.
Okay.
The Big Four champions. That's Big E, Roman Reigns, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch. And I looked up their current title runs, right? So Big E is at 86 days.
Yeah.
And we were watching when he won the title. He moved over to Raw pre the draft, won the title, then got drafted to Raw, and ever since then he's held the title. It's been a lackluster title run, but I don't think that's Big E's fault. I think that's WWE's fault. I don't think they've given him the proper opponents. Mm-hmm. Seth Rollins has given some relevancy to this, but the same way I feel about Hangman Adam Page is what I feel about Big E. How long until they go, we got to put the belt on Seth? So that's one option. Roman Reigns, 465 days and counting. I told you that coming up to, it looks like January 1st, he will surpass Brock Lesnar. Yeah. And I said that's the threshold of when we can stop pretending like Roman Reigns is invincible. Mm-hmm. Now, I really believe Roman Reigns is keeping the belt until WrestleMania.
Me too.
I think they're going to pad that number. I don't think it even makes sense for him to lose. Let him be dominant all the way up until WrestleMania. And what I assume is going to be Brock Lesnar winning the belt back. I don't think it's going to be The Rock at this point. I think they've waited too long. Unless The Rock comes back at the Royal Rumble. That would be super fucking cool. But I think they're building up to Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. And Brock Lesnar will win at WrestleMania. So I don't think, when you ask me which WWE champion will be the first to lose their title, I don't think it's Roman Reigns.
Okay.
Okay, Becky Lynch, 47 days. Mm-hmm. It feels to me like Becky doesn't need the belt. When you start looking at these people, right? Big E, I think he needs the belt. He needs it, and he needs at least 60 more days, even maybe all the way to WrestleMania. It just gets boring when the same person has the belt for too long. But it feels like Big E, it feels like Big E needs the belt to stay relevant, because there's too many sharks in the water on Monday Night Raw right now.
Yeah.
You know Roman's keeping the belt. Becky doesn't feel like she needs the belt. I feel like she could lose it to Liv Morgan, and there's a good story there of all the way up until WrestleMania, her trying to get it back and failing, right? Like, she was on top of the mountain. She was untouchable. She couldn't be beaten. Then all of a sudden, for some reason, Liv Morgan is the person who has her number, and it becomes like a desperation thing. That's just a thought. That's just a feeling.
I mean, that would be a definite.
It just seems like Becky Lynch could.
Interesting story.
I don't think she's ever in danger, because I don't think it's like they're taking it off of her because the crowd, she's not over or something. I just think it's like there's story there. I don't think she needs the belt. Then we got Charlotte. besides the fact, if it was just straight up, who do I think is going to lose the belt? I think it would be Charlotte, except that who do you put it on? I don't think they're going to put it on Toni Storm.
No.
I don't think so. And I know you have Sasha Banks, but it feels like they're keeping Charlotte and Sasha away from each other from the time being. You had Shotzi, who was teased and then has seemingly just fucking disappeared.
Yeah, that's so weird.
We looked up SmackDown's women roster. There's like 5 people, right?
There are not a lot, yeah.
It's like Naomi, Natalya,
Sasha Banks,
Shotzi, Charlotte, and Toni Storm. So it's like 6.
Yeah.
And then seemingly, I guess Sonja Deville will be there, and Naomi. I don't know if I named her, but there's not a lot. It's not a big roster.
Yeah, for sure.
I really do feel like they should just combine the women's roster. Besides the traveling aspect, I do feel like that roster is stronger when you have both those rosters together. But yeah, I just don't know. I don't know who on Friday Night SmackDown is worthy of taking that belt off of Charlotte right now. Because what they're not going to do is they're not going to go ahead and they're not going to flip 3 of these right now. Yeah. They're only going to flip 1 of them.
So who do you think it is?
I think it's Becky Lynch.
Okay.
I think Liv Morgan gets her. I think in the next, I don't know. I don't know if that's what they're setting up for day 1. I imagine it is some kind of rematch.
Yeah.
I believe Liv Morgan could win that belt at day 1, which then gives you WrestleMania is April or is it March? I believe it's April. But it gives you 3 solid months of being able to build a story around Becky Lynch trying to get that belt back.
True.
And then you can have some kind of big moment at WrestleMania where she wins it back, or you could even do some triple threat type thing. You got Alexa Bliss kind of waiting in the wind, see when she comes back. I don't know. Raw's women title picture is much more interesting than SmackDown's.
Definitely.
I'm excited for that. So,
my vote is Big E.
But if I had to, if Big E, really?
Yeah.
I
vote for him to lose the title match.
I don't like that. I don't like that. I think he needs the belt. I think he needs to fend off all these sharks for a minute.
Well, I think that they're going to bring somebody else in.
My hopes and dreams would be Kevin Owens. If Kevin Owens could win that belt. But I don't know if he's 1 foot out the door and they're just going to let him ride off into the sunset.
I don't know.
So then I thought it'd be fun just for the hell of it to do here the secondary titles.
Uh-huh.
We have the Usos have held their belt 143 days. I always feel like they're in a little bit of trouble because I just feel like it adds to Roman Reigns' character when he's kind of beating them down.
Yeah.
And if they lose those belts,
they lose legitimacy.
Well, so like they're going into day 1 against the New Day. And if they lose the belts, then it's seemingly going to be Roman Reigns just telling them how they fucked up. And it just creates a bunch of storylines that make sense. They don't have to have those belts.
True.
RK Bro, I don't foresee.
They're RK Bro.
Yeah. Like when I look at the Raw tag team roster right now, you got the Alpha. What are their names?
Alpha Force, I think.
It's not Alpha Force. Why are we calling him Alpha Force? Maybe it's just Alpha Academy.
Okay.
It's the Alpha Academy.
Okay. Air
But
Force.
I don't foresee them taking the belts. Like I said, they need to just get rid of the fucking Street Profits and let Montez Ford do his thing.
Yeah.
It looks like Omos and AJ Styles are breaking up. And we keep hearing the clamorings of the Mysterios breaking up. That they're going to fight each other. So for the time being, I don't see anybody that makes sense because of the fucking size of the draw that Randy Orton and Riddle are.
For sure.
So I think there's almost 0 chance they lose that belt. They'll hold that for a while.
I agree.
The Mella Zelina, it's like that doesn't even exist. So they win that belt and then they're never fucking featured on, like, they're SmackDown, right? No, they're Raw. They're Raw, right? Yes. They're Raw. And
because we didn't see them on the SmackDown roster.
Okay, so I think Zelina was on TV, but she wasn't on the Hulu cut.
Yeah.
That's what it is. But they're such a fucking secondary thought, that women's tag team title. And that could be so much more. But once again, it's hard to fucking form tag teams when
there's only like one other tag team.
And when you split the division, it's hard to do that.
True.
Then we have Damien Priest, who's been champion for 109 days.
Okay.
And I read that he has not been pinned since his Monday Night Raw debut.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So he's well protected.
People must like him.
And then you have Shinsuke Nakamura at 117 days. I mean, I would no brainer. I think Shinsuke's in the most trouble.
Yeah.
I just don't. He's one of those characters. It reminds me of Santino Marella. He doesn't need the fucking belt. Him and Rick Boogs make more sense to win tag team titles.
Oh, I agree.
But he doesn't need the Intercontinental. That belt is doing nothing for Shinsuke, and he's doing nothing for that belt.
Yeah.
So I'd say that out of that list, I think the Usos and Shinsuke are in the most trouble. The Usos, because it just makes sense story-wise to have them lose the belts to the New Day. It makes that interesting, and they can keep flip-flopping back and forth. Okay. And Shinsuke, just because, like I said, he does nothing for the belt, and the belt does absolutely nothing for him.
Okay. And I'm going to go Zelina and Shinsuke.
All right, so let's get into, we'll quickly run through this. What are we doing on time right now?
55 minutes.
Jesus Christ. Okay, let's go through the dirt sheets here. The WWE unveiled an inaugural next in line class. This was just it looked like a fucking, looked like playing cards or like sports cards of all the new wrestlers coming to WWE. But this is what I said, right? This is the nature of the business. When you want new, fresh characters, you have to get rid of a certain amount of people. And this is where you want to know why they're doing budget cuts and trimming the roster. It's because there's always a new class of people showing up. There's always another group of people coming in. And this is it. There's the Olympian, I forgot his name, but there's an Olympian in that class, and there's a bunch of college football players and college volleyball players and things like that. And so, yeah, this is the business, right? If you need new, fresh faces, which is what NXT is supposed to be all about, right? You got the fresh faces in wrestling. If you have new, fresh faces, you have to trim the fat constantly. So there's the casualties of war there.
Yeah, I mean, they want to get that younger demographic, so you got to bring in new people.
You have to. I mean, and that's the nature of everything, right? Is there's always going to be a new class. They've always got to try out and see, because you don't know who's the next fucking John Cena, right?
True.
This Braun Breaker guy, man, they're big on him. Everybody's big on this Braun Breaker
big
kid.
Wrestler guy?
The NXT 2.0 guy. I don't watch NXT. I don't like NXT. Never been an NXT watcher. Not because I made the fucking joke the other day about it's college football and then fucking internet got pissed off.
Yeah.
It's because there's not enough fucking time. As it is hard as fuck to watch Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, Dynamite, and sometime Rampage. It's hard as fuck to fit all of that in when you live and run a business. That's fucking hard.
Mm-hmm. And you got kids.
And you got life and just real shit going on. It's hard to fucking throw in another night of television. Oh, you're not a real wrestling fan, bro. You don't watch New Japan Pro. You don't watch NXT. I'm like, no, I have like real fucking life shit. Like I have adult shit.
I don't make TikToks with my shirt off in my bed.
Yeah, exactly. I don't make TikToks with my shirt off in my bed. When I turn this microphone off, I go downstairs and I watch fucking Dynamite, and then I have to, like, in the morning, I have to go back to doing like real people shit.
Yeah.
Second news story I got here is Eddie Kingston doesn't respect what he calls, quote unquote, the big Swiss idiot, Cesaro. Okay. All right, so I want to like Eddie Kingston, but he sounds like a fucking crying bitch. He's this big, you know what I'm talking about? The big, tough, like fucking fat guy. But what it sounds to me is that these people at some point
From AEW, right?
AEW, yes.
Yeah.
That CM Punk, he doesn't like CM Punk. He doesn't like Cesaro. He doesn't like, I don't know who else. He's got a list of fucking names. But it sounds to me like he gets his fucking feelings hurt real easy.
He reminds me of like a car mechanic who probably is like from New York.
I mean, that's what his character feels like. But what he reminds me of is I've met a million people like this. He's a tough guy who's fucking sensitive, right? Mm-hmm. You don't get to be both. You either get to be a tough guy or you get to be sensitive. You don't get to be both. I know it's not fair, but you don't get to be both. And when he runs around and does shit like, oh, I don't fucking like Cesaro, because at some point in their fucking independent career, Cesaro probably said something to him like, hey, fat boy.
Yeah.
Hey, fat boy, you're dangerous or something, you know?
Yeah.
Or why don't you lose some weight? It sounds to me like CM Punk told him, if you just took this shit a little more serious, you'd be fucking great at it. You're naturally gifted, but if you don't harness that ability, it means nothing. And I've met a ton of athletes like this in my life, right? A ton of guys who had the natural gift, but they just didn't believe in work ethic. And the truth is, work ethic will fucking always beat natural talent. True. Always. So you look at a guy like, and I'm just going to basketball, LeBron James, he's got both. You can fucking hate him all you want, but he's got both, right? Kobe Bryant got both. They just natural fucking ability, but then they take that natural God-given ability and they fucking sharpen it like a knife, and they become like God tier of what they do. And that's what I think the knock on Eddie Kingston is from these guys. And instead of being fucking, you can take it two ways, right? You could be sensitive and you could cry and your feelings could be hurt all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm speaking out of context because I don't know what the problem is between the two. This is all assumption. Or you can fucking just do something about it. Right?
True.
So I just, I guess what I'm getting to
Don't
is
you
there.
hate on Cesaro?
What I'm getting to there is I think Eddie Kingston is a sensitive bitch. That's what I think.
All right.
This is news, but is it really news? Big football night contributes to record low ratings for Monday Night Raw. I mean, that's what happens when your show's on Monday night. Yeah. Football is king. This is the United States of America. Football is fucking king.
True.
You got NASCAR and you got football, and then after that maybe wrestling. But as long as football's on, and the deeper we get into the NFL season, December's football time, baby. It's football time. That's what it is. Like, these games now matter. That was like one of the highest watched Monday Night Football games ever, even though the fucking was like 60-mile-an-hour winds. Fucking the old boy from New England.
Some real Game of Thrones shit.
Old boy from New England threw 3 passes. Well, that's it. They ran the ball every fucking play. But that's if you're Monday Night Raw, do you consider moving nights? Maybe just during football season?
Like to Tuesday or something?
What's Tuesday? Tuesday's Dynamite. They're not going to... No, Tuesday's not Dynamite. Wednesday's Dynamite. Yeah. Tuesday's NXT. Do you flip the two around? I don't know. Or is just Monday night such a staple of the business that you just go, fuck it, right? Yeah. Fuck it. I don't even understand how ratings work anymore, though.
Especially if you watch stuff on Hulu. Well, that's my point.
It's like, is how do they know? And I'm sure there's fucking science people who know, and there's analytics people who are able to like decipher. But like, how do they know that I watched it on Hulu afterwards? Yeah. And like I like they take these initial ratings the day of, but does that really fucking mean anything? Because I don't remember the last television show that I fucking sat down at the time it was supposed to be on and I watched it where I couldn't fast forward through the commercials. Yeah. Or I couldn't watch it on Hulu where the commercials are just gone. Yeah. I mean, watching Monday Night Raw on Hulu, I know I miss a little bit, but it is so much of a more pleasurable. Enjoyable. Jesus. No commercials. No fucking commercials. And it's an hour and a half of what I'm fucking supposed to watch.
You know what the sad thing is that I feel like in the 3 hours that we watch, about probably half an hour is just commercials, if not longer. Yeah. I mean, really, it does feel like that, but yeah, I guess so. I didn't even think about that contributes to the 3 hours. Yeah. Because I when I read the recap, I was like, well, there's not a lot missing from the Hulu. Yeah. Except fucking commercials and like Zelina Vega and Bianca Belair. That was it. Yeah. But it's much more pleasurable watching it there. Mm-hmm. And then last but not least in headlines here, we've got Big E says it wouldn't surprise him if Jake and Logan Paul return to the WWE at some point. Why would this surprise anybody? These dudes are fucking geniuses of marketing. The only thing that would surprise me is what's the younger one? That's Jake or is that Logan? Jake. Logan's the older one.
Okay, so I don't think Jake will because Jake's on a fucking heater right now on boxing. Yeah. He Tommy Fury just dropped out and he's about to box Tyron Woodley again. Okay. But he's winning these boxing matches. So at this point, he's making bajillions of fucking dollars. Yeah. If they go to WWE, it's it's for no other reason than like Pat McAfee. It's to have fucking fun. I don't think they're going to WWE
to get in the
to
big
make
bucks.
money.
Yeah.
Those motherfuckers have fucking so much money.
It's
if
more
they're
for
going to
their
WWE,
entertainment.
yeah. And look, you talk about wrestling. Wrestling is literally about faces and heels. And there could be nobody that would be more hated than the Paul brothers in professional wrestling.
Yeah.
So that's not surprising to anybody. All right, so we're going to finish off this episode. We're going to start finishing off every weekly episode with a game of 20 questions. And I don't know how this is going to go. I'm stealing this, as I say, like I take inspiration from other podcasts. So I want to shout out podcasts. This is from IGN Game Scoop.
Yes, sir.
They end every video game podcast with a game of 20 questions where they try to guess a video game. I have a decent knowledge of professional wrestlers, especially current wrestlers and Attitude Era. I have zero fucking knowledge of Impact wrestlers. Okay, so stay.
Okay. It's not Impact. I'll tell you that.
I'm just saying when you start doing this, and we're gonna ask for submissions as we go, because your knowledge of wrestlers is very limited, right? So you're gonna Google these and
I did my research,
and get your research. So you should be ready for this. And initially, I imagine that some of these may be easier. Now I say that, and I'm probably gonna shit the fucking bed.
This is
here.
definitely a New Japan Wrestling.
Yeah, exactly right. So if anybody is going to like, I got a Twitter. I fixed my Twitter. I updated my Twitter.
Tell us your Twitter.
I'm gonna start tweeting.
Tweet us.
I don't know my Twitter.
Okay, well, we'll figure it out.
Let me look it up real quick. I do have a Twitter, and I want people to fucking start tweeting at me, and we'll do some Twitter stuff, because I want a way to communicate with people.
Okay,
you can't really do that on
What's your
TikTok.
Twitter?
I'm looking. Hold on, my Twitter.
How do you not know your Twitter, bro?
I am Notorious D. That is my Twitter handle.
All right.
I am Notorious D.
And how do we spell Notorious?
Notorious. That was a fucking spelling bee. You need a little bing sound effect. Okay, but we're gonna play 20 questions. Okay. And let's see how this goes. Could be fun. This could go completely fucking wrong. You might kill
me by the end of it, so we'll see what happens.
I'm not gonna kill you. I'll let it. I'll go. I'm more worried about me not being able. Like, if it's the most obvious fucking person in the world and I just don't fucking get there, I have a few questions that I wrote down just to kind of guide myself. But let's go. All right.
Okay, go.
Question number 1. Is this person in the WWE?
Yes.
All right, cool. So we're gonna go WWE. That's 1. You're gonna have to keep count of how many questions I
counting. I got it on my hand.
You got it in your hand?
I got it in my hand.
You're gonna be like, that's 1.
That's
so
1.
So people know.
That's 1.
This is like radio.
The person is in the WWE.
Okay, person's in the WWE. Number 1. Are they a current active wrestler? They currently wrestle in the WWE.
Question 2. Yes, they are.
Okay, all right, cool. So this is this is going to be in my wheelhouse then. I probably can get to this, I would think.
Okay.
Is this a male superstar?
No. This person is not a male superstar.
All right, so we're going to come up and just like
that cuts it to like a 4th.
Jump off the bat, like we're playing the 2 gender game, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. There's not like it's not a fucking spectrum right here. Like just for the purpose of this game, there's either guys and there's either girls.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Just had to make that. Okay. Is this person on Monday Night Raw?
Yes. Question 4. They are on Monday Night Raw.
All right. So that's 4 questions. We might have to shorten this. This may be too easy.
Okay.
Is this person currently a champion?
Yes.
Oh, they are?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus. That's too easy. Okay, so now we got female champions. There's only 3 on Monday Night Raw.
Okay.
So it should be pretty easy to narrow down.
Okay.
And if you went with my favorite wrestler, she's not champion. What am I doing here? Does this person have red hair?
Yes.
Come on, man. You went Becky Lynch on night 1. You went Becky Lynch.
Well, I figured I'd go, for the big gun.
This could be fun. I think this could be fun. I do think this game could be fun. Now, we're going to have to get deeper.
Let's say you got this in 5 questions. Congratulations.
I think it was shorter than 5 questions. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You had
red hair was 5. You're right. I got in 5 questions.
5 questions.
You're going to have to ask for help. You're going to have to reach out to like the people who listen to the show.
All right.
And I'm going to preface ahead of time.
Vince McMahon Jr.
Vince McMahon Jr., you got Big Willie from Philly, you got all those guys. Let them help you with, but let's go easy on me at the beginning.
Okay.
Let's not go, let's stick either Attitude Era are current generation wrestlers for right now. We could get into some weird shit later on. We got a long time. I plan to do this for a while.
Oh, I got one.
So, do you want to do one more right now? You want to try and do one more? And I don't care if you don't know. Give me 2 seconds. Well, yeah, I mean, if you don't know the exact questions.
No. I'm sure I got this one.
Is this person WWE?
Were they? Are they? What are you asking? Like,
is this person affiliated with WWE?
Yes.
Is this person a current WWE wrestler?
No.
Okay. Is this person a male wrestler?
No.
So this is an old. Oh, so the Raw and SmackDown question won't be as. Is this person from the Attitude Era?
When was the Attitude Era?
I don't have exact dates.
I don't believe that they were from the Attitude Era. No.
But they're not a current wrestler either?
No.
Has this person ever held a world championship?
Give me 2 seconds and I can find out. But I'm going to say no. I mean, I don't know. Hold on. Let's go see. Let's look at her wiki page.
Does this person have blonde hair?
Yes.
Okay. Is this person from the UFC?
She was a championship.
Was this person ever in the UFC?
No.
How many is that? Is that 5?
Yes.
Okay, so she did have a championship?
Uh-huh.
Does this person have 2 first names?
Yes.
It's Kelly Kelly.
It is Kelly Kelly. You got it in 5. How did you know?
It. I might be good. I might be good at this game. This game. We might have to do 10 questions.
I know.
Now, but cool. I like this. I like the new format of the show. How long did we go?
An hour and
that's way
15
too long.
Minutes.
I had allotted 30 minutes for this motherfucker, so I have to figure out how to cut it down a little bit.
I was like,
I had to figure out, but yeah. But so this has been an episode of the Notorious NerdyD Wrestling Podcast. As always, I am NerdyD. On the 1s and 2s, that's Level Up Lauren, and I need to get a bell sound effect. But for right now, I'll just go. Let's ring that final bell. Ding ding ding. You got to turn it up.